Hi, this is Holly with Presence Point, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but as a shepherd grandparent, I kind of messed up this week. I didn't handle a situation very well at all, and I don't know if in your world as a shepherd grandparent or parent or supervisor, manager, boss, business owner, volunteer leader, pastor, that's ever happened to you. But I was thinking back over a situation and something I'd said, and I thought, man, what's the big deal? Was it really that bad? And I tried to justify it for like 3 days. And the Holy Spirit got a hold of my heart and said, Holly, that wasn't loving, and it wasn't an example of humility. I thought, here I am in the middle of a week trying to teach my kids, grandkids, I should say, my grandkids about Moses and the way Moses lived and his submission to God and all of that. I demonstrated what a mess I was. And I then opened a 3-story Bible, one that's produced by Youth for Christ, and there was a then and now devotion in Philippians, and it's called, Be Humble, You Jerk. That, oh wow, that was it. I was a jerk, wasn't I, Lord? And the Holy Spirit said, yeah, Holly, you were a jerk. And I had to make a phone call and apologize and ask for forgiveness. My sweet granddaughter obliged, and she was very gracious. But I was called immediately from that to look at some of Paul's letters. And I started in Philippians 1:27. Above all, Paul says, you must live as citizens of heaven, conducting yourselves in a manner worthy of the good news about Christ. Wow, conducting myself in a manner worthy, right? Then in Ephesians, Paul says in chapter 5, verse 1, imitate God, therefore, in everything you do, because you are his dear children. Live a life filled with love, following the example of Christ. He loved us and offered himself as a sacrifice for us, a pleasing aroma to God. Here I was in the middle of a week helping our grandkids not just learn about Moses, but learn about Jesus and how Moses' life was a mess when he left Egypt, but yet God used it. So I'm kind of grateful for the analogy that this week my life was a bit of a mess, and hopefully God will still use it. But then I landed lastly on Ephesians 4:1, and it really is our theme verse for Presence Point. Therefore I, Paul says, a prisoner for serving the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of your calling, because you have been called by God. So dear shepherd leader, you and I have been called by God. We are called to live a life worthy of that calling. We are called to imitate him. We are called to remind ourselves that we are seated in the heavenly realms already with him, as Paul tells the Ephesians, and we cannot make excuses for our behavior. So I pray that my hiccup this week and just my example of, oh, I blew it, a lesson in humility for me, a lesson in gentleness for me, and a lesson in love for me will also speak to your heart. May you live deeply into your calling this week. Thanks so much for joining us.